どうも、カラズです。Hello, hello. こんにちは。ちょっと待って。いろんなやることある。例えば、これ。And 音量とかはチェックしています。Okay. I hope I'm not too quiet, that's the problem. 音楽はいいね。音楽は素敵。Okay, so I don't know where I should put myself. So we'll adjust it once we start playing. Okay. I think. やろうか。とりあえずやろうか。やろう。Let's try it. I should be fine. Volume-wise, I should be fine. I'm not too loud, I don't think. My audio interface isn't reading out or anything. はい。じゃあ、やろうか。New game. ティン2年間くらい、2年3年間くらいやりたかったゲーム。I just wanted to play this game for a while. And I've only gotten to it today. 今日だけ。やっとやれるってこと。And I have myself some tea. 夏なのに熱いお茶。夏なのにね。It's summer and I'm still drinking tea, that is. おや。Oh, okay. They thought of the faraway grave on the plain. They thought of the comrade who came not again. They lifted their glasses and sadly they said, お、目開けた。We drink to the name of the mate who was dead. Henry Lawson. Henry Lawson! Mate, that poet, he was one of the poets I researched back in primary school, so I know that name very well. Henry Lawson. Cough. Cough. It's too bloody damp down here. I know we're underground, but I don't suppose there are any windows we could open. There's a ventilation duct in here somewhere. Maddie, mind opening it up? Get some fresh air circulating? It feels very Australian. Other end's blocked right now. There's a dumpster sitting on top of it. You'll have to grin and bear it. Can we hurry this up? Calm your farm, old man. You're well aware it takes a while to set up. Maybe this okay, let's change the voices. I don't appreciate your tone. Sorry. At the very least, can we turn some lights on? With all the rubbish you've got scattered around the place, I'd like to at least know where I'm putting my feet. Ashley, would you mind? Oh, いい雰囲気。いいね。何これ。Thanks. You're more organized than last time, I see. Practice makes perfect. Hey, Maddie. How much more wire do we need? I think that's enough. Great. Now. Che? What's up, little P? I found you a chair. Ah, thank you. So, this whole thing, surely it's not legal, yeah? Maddie wasn't clear on that. Yes, the council found it confronting. For good reason, I suppose. Because it utterly upsets the natural order, mate. It's not just bureaucracy. Shush, you. Most rules can be bent after all. And Maddie has a particular fascination with breaking rules. Yeah, as I'm sure you've realized. Hey, don't give her all the credit. Bah! Is this related to her gambling full time? Mm-hmm. So, the transfer was the same sort of magic we're doing now, yes. Small scale, though. Doing it on a larger scale requires a bit more preparation. The council successfully suppressed all available information about it, though. For good reason! What happens if something goes wrong? Well, you don't tend to mess it up more than once. Or try it again after you fail, for that matter. Stubborn scholars notwithstanding. What do you even call this sort of magic then? Question's irrelevant. Because it's bad. Extremely cool. That's what I call it. Well, by definition, it's a conduit ritual. What's a conduit ritual? But hey, we're among friends. So we call it what it really is. Necromancy. Oh, いい雰囲気だ。いいね、いいね。いいね、いいね。I believe, what's his name? What's his name again? めっちゃ好きな、artist, composer, BGM track dude. Kevin Penkins. Yeah. I think he did the BGM for this. From your hazy memories, a certain word calls out to you. Necromancy. You try desperately to remember what it meant. Necromancy. Am I saying it weirdly? Necromancy. Death. Oh, it's a little skull. This fragment of a memory stays with you. Piece together the past. Remember what transpired. And never forget. You are. Scattered, practice, bureaucracy, fascination, forbidden, disheveled, messy, detective blenders, 言葉が多いねね Loading, loading, loading. Yeah. Okay, I guess we're starting. We can look around. This feels very, very Melbourne. If you all know where Melbourne is, we have these red brick wall buildings, narrow alleyways. It's no place in particular, but you know. I can't jump! I can't skid! Ah! Ah! Well, I guess we're starting in here, right? Press and hold. Beep to inspect a memory. Confirm. これメモリーなんですか? Oh, 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 oh. Oh, Maddie's rules. We welcome both living and dead. Patrons will be served in the order they arrived. Don't ask who's alive. It's rude. If someone wants you to know, they'll tell you. The dead have 24 hours to spend with the premises before moving on. Strictly enforced. No, we don't have Wi-Fi. Report broken items and other anomalies to staff. We can't clean up your broken glass or spatial rift if we don't know about it. Don't feed the Eidolons. Eidolons? The nani. They can't eat, and offering them food just reminds them of that cruel fact. Hey, I'm doing good. How are you? I am playing Necrobarista. It's a game that I've been wanting to play for ages. So I'm not giving anyone time to be like, oh, KaLRZ is a game. KaLRZ is gonna play a game. Well, I'm gonna book in the time in my schedule and go ahead and watch it. Nah, KaLRZ is gonna be like, nah. KaLRZ does what KaLRZ wants to do and streams on a guerrilla basis. So welcome. Oh, okay, so that's all the rules. 6 rules. And if I wanted to inspect the rules again, I'd just click it again, I guess. I'm at work. I'm watching a cutie patootie bird boy. Yeah. Don't get in trouble. As long as you don't get in trouble, right? I don't think I can do anything to make you laugh out loud and get in trouble, but you do your best. Oh, it's slowing down. Hi. Tsugiwa. Loading time. Part 1. I really adore the music. If you all know Kevin Bacon. Ah, coffee. By the way, I've never had coffee in Melbourne before. It's the one of the things that Melbourne is really well known for, and I have not had coffee in Melbourne. I wish I could have tried before I left, except at some point I just couldn't drink coffee anymore because it ruins my stomach. I can drink coffee now, canned coffee in Japan, it's fine. It's not too bad. The terminal, Carlton, Victoria. Australia 3053, that's the postcode. Carlton is the suburb in the state of Victoria. Excerpts from online reviews. This is a very nice, I would love to come to a cafe like this. It's roomy, spacious, and you don't have to interact with people. But a cozy one would be nice too. Pretty unremarkable coffee. Barista speaks Chinese, but exclusively uses it to mock people to their faces. I'm very self-conscious about my top hat now. Observed little girl running around cafe with knife, unsupervised. Lamar came down with deep sense of ennui after what's ennui? Hang on, what's ennui? What's that? Ennui? A feeling of listlessness and dissatisfaction arising from a lack of occupation or excitement. Ennui, I think. Ennui. Is it French? Ennui. Was rudely told to stop being a big dweebus after complaining about the burnt taste in coffee. So this doesn't have a good rap. This place does not have a good rap going on. Good rap? This coffee's some of the best I've ever had. 5 stars. Disclosure, I have no taste buds. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, the burns. The door closes. Oh, here comes someone walking in. Looks around. Looks like someone who obviously works in, you know, that kind of field. Where they need tools. And this might be a cultural necklace as well. So that's an interesting touch. Very interesting touch. Hey! Hey mate! You right? Ah! You can see me? Clear as day, yeah. What can I get ya? I've been walking around for hours. Nobody was talking to me. I don't even know how I got in here. I think you'll find it was via the front door. Via? Which one do you say? Okay. Right. Now look at them. Look at them shoes. Look at that booty! Right, where am I? This, dearly departed, is the terminal. Carlton's finest. Departed? They say our coffee's to die for. Oh. I changed it at the drop and that was a very huge mood change. Slowly moving in. So, I don't really know how to go about this. Ask me anything, man. You're not the first disheveled dead guy to drop in. And I'm sure you won't be the last. Hang on. Gotta make the realistic effect, you know. What does everyone else ask? They generally ask, what does everyone else ask? Ah, shit. And they always say that. Silence. Then there's the embarrassed silence. Alright. I get it. You make a habit of bullying everyone who comes through, or just the pitiful ones? It's almost exclusively the latter. I guess that's consistent. Always felt like people saw me as a pitiful guy. Sorry, I was actually just kidding there. No, you're right. I'm taking the filter off, okay? I'm taking the filter off. This is, Australian vernacular, right? This is Australian vernacular, I'm taking the filter off. No, you're right. I'm a fucking sad sack. Boss hated me. Family hated me. Work sucked. Just like everything else about me. Now I'm never gonna be I'm never even gonna have a chance to make things better for myself. That's it. Stick a fork in me. I'm done. Hey, come on. And now I'm sitting in a cafe for dead people, falling apart in front of the barista. Mate, pull it together! Number 1 rule. No breakdowns in the cafe, please? I promise, man. You are okay. I know how it is. Are you dead? No, and I don't know if you read the rules outside, but God, I did, yes. Can't even get that right. In that case, you'll also have to read that you have a nut. Hang on, give me a moment. I can't read. I seem to not be able to read fast enough. But also, I'm just checking. One more thing, making sure my second monitor, aka my phone, I can see I can see things right. Alright. Set that up. Shh. Bzz, bzz, bzz. In that case, you'll also have to read that you have 24 hours left before you gotta move on to the next place. And I don't think you want to spend them having one big, long, extended panic attack. 24 hours? Ah, shit. What I'm saying is, everything's okay. Just take some deep breaths, and we'll sort this out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to be a fuss. Cafe's empty. It's not like I've got anything else going on. Don't worry about it. Are you sure? I'm kind of a burden. You're not. Promise. Tune up, mate. Let me tell you about the building. It's got some cool history. So the first time I came here was about 4 years ago. Whoa, law. Wait, hang on. I think it did a bit of a time skip. And that's why you should never, ever serve a martini to a dead biker. Even if he specifically asks for one. Lamau. Ah. Out of all the possible ways to react to that, that's one I certainly didn't expect. Yeah, no point in seeking eternal vengeance if you're gonna have to leave in a few hours anyway. Kinda strips it of meaning, you know? There's no way to tell whether you'll even care once you cross over. But then again, maybe I'm just being a buzzkill about it. Shouldn't go around policing people's reactions to things. I'm, still wrapping my head around all this. Death, that is. Feels weird to say it, doesn't it? Weird. Yeah, that's the word. So, you said most people don't ever find out how they died before they pass. Even if they got murdered or something. Yep. Most people don't die from murder. It's mostly sickness, or old age, or lawnmower accidents. Well, they call them accidents. But really, loads of lawnmowers are possessed by evil spirits. Yeah. That said. Alright, hold on just a moment. You can't just drop that and move on. Possessed lawnmowers? Seriously? Anything with spinning blade attracts them. Spinning blades. Garden equipment, blenders, power saws, yup. They're a real pain in the ass. Gotta do at least 1 or 2 exorcisms a month on the coffee grinder. Coffee grinder also attracts evil spirits. That's wild. I know I'm breaking the rules again, but how many people in here are dead? Yeah, it's a cafe for dead people. Does that mean it's everyone? Or some of the people just really into ghost cafes? A little of column A, a little of column B. Plenty of mortals come through. But this is one of the only crossing points in the country. So we get a lot of your type. That's also why the rent is so high. The rent! Because those vampires who own the place know we get a lot of foot traffic. Yep, vampires. They suck up the income. Literal vampires? No. Like boomers. Boomers. Landlord class. Ah. Same thing, I guess. So to answer your question, there are 9 customers here right now. Out of those 9, yourself included, I'd say 4 or 5 of them are just passing through on the way to the next place. How can you tell? Once you've worked here for a while, you get a sort of a 6th sense for this kind of thing. Gotcha. Speaking of sixth senses, that's really hard to say. I've got one for trouble. You have two sixth senses? Two sixth senses? Oh, let's see. Let's check the menu. All right. So coffee, house, blend, black or white, single origin, mocha, hot chocolate. I mean, that's the basic stuff. Tea, you'll also have the basic stuff. Nothing that I've not seen before. Or kombucha. Prices are cheap, I think, personally. Water, bottled water for $4, maybe not. Sparkling for $4, maybe not. Kombucha, fair enough. Toast, eggs your way, muesli, French toast. Okay, no, you know what? This is Melbourne prices. Maybe that's just standard. Maybe that's just standard. Hello, Ashley. Look at her. Ashley had adopted the cafe staff a couple years back, much in the same way a puppy adopts a squeaky toy. Ashley had adopted the cafe staff. Not the cafe staff adopted Ashley? Hmm? She was the kind of ferociously smart kid who absorbed information like a sponge, but only used it to cause trouble. Today, she was accompanied by the stench of motor oil, and brought with her a look that said, "I'm an invincible genius." If the BGM is at any point too loud, which I feel like it's kinda, I'm just gonna turn the BGM down a little bit, just a little bit. Just a little bit. It's a mood maker. It's a mood maker, but I just turn it down a little. Just gonna turn it down a little. Alright. She was mostly right about that one. Alright, I know that look. Spit it out. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Got the crap, kid. What are you after? I'm busy dealing with a customer. I'm not really needing any attention. Shut up, Kishan. I need an extra pair of hands, and none of my ashlings are around to help ashlings. Don't you have any clamps? We got a bunch for your birthday last month. They're all being used for other very important things. They were not. Pretty sure I saw one on the table upstairs earlier. No, I really need a helper. Ashley, I'm busy. Hey, I could probably... Come on, Ashley, you've got to let us work. I'm not gonna get anything done down here if I have to keep going upstairs to find the screwdrivers you've misplaced. But... Hey... No dice. What about Shay? He can help me. But what about... He's emptying the dishwasher. Sound familiar? It should, because I told you to do it an hour ago. Oh. It's really no trouble. Oh, why don't I take this guy? Only thing is, he's busy with being dead. Hey, come on. Ashley, I'm not going to argue with you about this. I'm sure he would rather relax and be bossed around. Also, manners. We've talked about this. You've got to be more respectful in front of customers. Please. I'm happy to go upstairs. Really, it's fine. I don't have anything else going on. And I'm super dead. I'm cool with it. I am Kishan, a very dead guy. Happy to help. You sure? I can just send her back upstairs. Promise. It's fine. I'd just sit around and be in a pain otherwise. Perfect. Come, peon. We've got work to do. Wow. Ashley wasn't getting enough attention. But with Maddie's newfound responsibilities, some sacrifices had to be made. That meant the kid would have to occupy herself more often than not. She still felt guilty as hell about it. And, I reckon this place needs more plants. Ah, Jesus Christ, Shay! You're gonna give me a heart attack, you old bastard. What's on your mind? Head in the clouds as per usual. Did I look like I was thinking weighty thoughts? Excruciatingly so. What's going on? Nothing important. Just my resting bitch face. Nope. This one's different. How so? Your facial expression is reminding me of the time you tried to fistfight that cosplayer. Hey, the samurai. The one who barged in waving his gift-store katana around and demanding satisfaction after I refused to put 15 shots in his coffee. Weirdly specific. What's it look like? Looks like you've got a... Yeah, looks like you just got threatened with 1,000-fold Nippon steel. That's a precious memory, so I remember it clearly. A mix of deep disgust, a whole bunch of derision, and a tiny pinch of pity. Yep, that's me. What a mood. めっちゃいい感じ、雰囲気。めっちゃいい雰囲気。この木は何だろう? Such a great atmosphere. I'm still wondering what this tree in the back is. You alright though? Real talk. I'm fine. I'm actually fine. Fine, or let's not talk about it. Fine. The second one. Alright. Office still open if you'd like to talk things out. In the meantime, sorry. Can I grab the tea towel? My hands are wet. Oh, yeah, here you go. So, did the dishes need hand washing, or... I'm sure I told Ashley to empty the dishwasher earlier. Nah. Thing's busted. Door latch won't close. Might call the repairman. Ashley shouldn't wash them by hand anyway. Her arm would corrode. Oh. So, I did it. Not a problem. Yeah, fair enough. So, like I mentioned, it'll need a repair, unless you want to let Ashley at it. I'd call the repairman myself, but our landline stopped working last week. We have a landline? Yep. Ancient technology. An inelegant tool for a less civilized age. Ha ha ha. Only works when you pay the bill, though. I don't know if it'd be cheap to get it repaired, or just buy a new one, and give Ashley the old one for parts. The costs are pretty close, all things considered. Hey, don't work too hard. You'll worry yourself into an early grave. Hey, you spent 50 years digging holes. Sounds like pretty tough work, old man. Oh, old man. For your information, I'm barely 170-ish. Oh, this dude's old. I'm failing to see the inaccuracy. It was during a literal gold rush. Everyone was doing it. Only thing different about me is I eventually started digging up things more interesting than gold. Only kind of gold I'm interested is in brown gold. Brown gold? Coffee. I mean coffee. Shut up. Hey. So... I know it's another stress on the stress pile, but I think we need to put in an order for more kitchenware soon. Yeah, another thing that costs money. We're beginning to run out of cutlery, though. Keeps disappearing, not sure where. I don't know how long it can wait before we get more. Don't know if we can afford that this month. Just, you know, everything's a bit too pricey right now. For real, the state of Melbourne. Doesn't help that the coffee cartels keep pushing up prices. Pushing prices up. I don't think the importer is part of the cartel. They're quite nice. I've seen photos of their kids. You've ever spoken to them? They're obviously criminals. With the prices they charge, wholesale, my ass. Yet we keep buying from them. Well, yeah, the beans are good, man. It's just everything else on top of them that's stressing me out. Yes. I'll happily accept the blame for some of that. It's fine. You don't have to. I know it's all on me. I've just got to figure out how to pay everything off. Everything. And everyone. The shitty council of death and the doubly shitty time debt we owe to them are the last things I want to think about right now. I've lost enough sleep over it already. Hey, I'm here to help. I'm worried about you, you know? You've had a lot of responsibility dropped on you in a very short period of time. And I can't help but feel a little bit culpable for that. I know. Yeah. I know. And I can't thank you enough. Shh. It's alright. Hold yourself together. We'll figure it out as a team. Just like we always have. I just don't want to deal with it, you know? I get it. I don't want you to feel like I'm imposing or interfering too much. I know the cafe is yours now. And even though things are a bit much at the moment. I know I keep saying this, Maddie. But I don't know how much time we have to deal with all of this before things start falling apart. Things are already falling apart. But you're going to have to face reality at some point. You know that, right? Clenches fists. Che, oh my god, yes, I know. I don't need any more reminders from you. Back off, man. The council's always on my mind. I can't escape them. My best is all I can do, okay? Just because you're my best friend and my old boss, and my mentor, doesn't mean I need you preaching at me about how I need to deal with my problems. Because they're my problems now. Not yours. Alright. No worries. I'll give you some space. Might go check on Ashley. Seen her recently? She's upstairs. Dragged a customer up there, talking about clamps or something. I'd better go rescue them, then. Be back in a bit. GG, man. Shit. He's right, isn't he? We really could use some more plants. So, we're gonna strap a big old steak knife to it and make them fight each other. What kind of... I love it. This is gonna be great. I want to build something that gets put on TV shows like Road Battle Royale with flamethrowers on it. You're not gonna put one on this little guy, are you? A flamethrower? Probably not. But I want you to record the fight on my phone so we can send it to the producers. Yeah, sure thing. Let's get this knife attached. Concerned. Pass me those zip ties. Zip ties and the knife. Knife! And my coffee. Are you sure? Who even gave you that? Coffee! Damn it. It's empty. Coffee's empty, Sean. The one is beginning to vibrate. Maybe it's good that your cup runneth empty. Yeah? I think my cup needs to run with more espresso in it. How many shots did you put in there? Too many, Kishan. But did anyone ask? Hang on. But did anyone? But did anyone ask Icarus how many shots of espresso he had? Yeah, I'm reading a book about Icarus. He flew to the sun. I'm cultured. In unrelated news, I have a headache. I think you might want to read a little more about Icarus. There's a twist ending to that one. I'm holding a knife, Kishan. No spoilers. Ah, no spoilers. Promise. Good. Alright, Shay, just say hi. Try not to get a knife slung at you at this time. You got this. Hey, kids. Ah! Intruder! Oh, freak. Kishan, my buddy, my pal. Did I get him? No, you missed. Damn it. But, wait. You threw it on purpose? Extremely on purpose, yes. I'm fine, by the way. Oh, it's just you. Would it have been worse if it was someone else? Probably. Unless there was an actual spy come to steal my robot designs. And it would have been good. Hey, I think I'm crashing. Oh no. Is she okay? Did I kill her? She'll wake up in about 15 minutes with no ill effects. It looks like the knife is already sticking out of his face. But you probably shouldn't give her any more coffee. She turns into a real goblin. Goblin time. Oh, she told me that it'd make her immeasurably powerful. I mean, she's not wrong, but you know, great power, great responsibility, yada yada yada. She's 13. Kid's got plenty of energy already. Maybe not the sense of responsibility, though. Yeah, I don't even know how I ended up sitting here attaching knives to robots. She's very convincing. You don't have to tell me, mate. She basically lives here. Her parents would kill me if they found out she nearly killed me. Ha! Yep. Pretty good blind throw, though. Makes me proud in one weirdest ways. Huh. Did she learn from the best? She did, but the best definitely wasn't me. Maddie's pretty deadly with knives. Loves her flashy tricks. Bad habit, probably. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm being very rude. My name's Shay. I used to own this place. Now I just sort of sit around and cause trouble and sometimes have knives thrown at me, I guess. I'm Kishan, and I died today. Ba-da-bum! Welcome to the terminal. Gambling for time is a dangerous business. That's an achievement. Achievement unlocked. Bum-ba-ba-dum! This is unfolding in an interesting way. Obviously in a way that I haven't seen enough of. Oh, look at these little things. What are they? Ah! I'm alive! I'm alive? Oof. We got a loud one here. Oh, be nice. You know what's scary waking up? Big lights coming towards me. I think it's reliving its last moments. Looks like it. What is happening? Hello. I do not remember having this many limbs. Join the club, pal. We are reborn in a new image. I see. I'm Kepler. Nice to meet ya. And I'm Jacoby. I am undefined. I don't know if the name will stick. It's a body made of a milk carton. We just call it milk? No, too basic. Imagine if you called me Goon. Just because I'm made of a Goon box. I wouldn't like that at all. It's a Goon box! Ashley was yelling about someone called Lovelace the other day. That's a good one, I think. How does our new friend feel about it? Acceptable? Excellent. I can't remember the voices I'm giving these. Nice to meet you, Lovelace. I am not remembering the names, the voices. Okay, so we have Jacoby, crap, what was his name? Jacoby, Lovelace, and then the one in the middle who temporarily we will call Goon because I can't remember the name. It's made of a goon box. You look at you, turning to a responsible human being. You're saying that. During intermissions at the end of episodes, you can freely explore the terminal. Memories are scattered throughout the terminal and delve into the tales of its patrons. More locations and memories become available as you progress through the main story. Hi. Okay. Hi. Ja. Let's explore. Woo. So, oh. The fisherman. Maddie. Maddie was about to leave the counter when an old man pushed the door open. He was hunched over and he walked with a bit of a limp, and even at the distance she could see the leathery texture of his skin, a testament to many years well lived. Maddie had been about to leave the counter to Shay, but there was something in the way the man walked that made her want to stay long enough to see if he had any special requests. She wasn't sure if she would like the man, and in fact she was fairly sure that there was a good chance that she wouldn't have much to say. The man, she wouldn't have much to say to the man, or much that she would be interested in hearing from him. But it was obvious that the man had paid his dues, and she felt that she owed him at least a few moments of her time. Even if he hadn't done anything in life worth of admiration, he at least had some enough to earn her respect. It was only when the man sat down Maddie saw the skin was cracked, but not wrinkled. His body had been aged, but had been aged by the elements of the sun, more than it had been aged by the passage of time. The slight limp in his step could have easily been the limp of a young man who had spent one day too many lifting loads that were 1 kilo too heavy for him. He took the seat directly in front of her. "You serve food here?" Apparently the man was more interested in finding out what was on offer than figuring out where he was. Maddie kept herself from visibly smirking. There was something she liked about the guest, like that. There was something she liked about guests like that. People whose only question was what was on tap. Maddie glanced at Shay. He gave a nod of assent. Yes, Shay was willing to play with the role of grillmaster today. "We do serve food," he said. The man squinted up at the menu above him. "My eyes don't work too well in this light," he said. "Got a paper menu?" Maddie reached under the counter and pulled out a menu that looked just as aged as the man sitting in front of her. Its scars were from coffee stains, not cuts. But as she watched the man hold the menu, there was something about the combination of the two of them that felt right to her. The man stared at the menu for a good deal longer than it must have taken him to read everything on it. He finally spoke after a long considered pause. "Do you suppose it would be a problem if I were to order something if I didn't intend to actually eat it?" "That's not the kind of thing that would offend me," said Maddie. Actually, it was exactly the kind of thing that would offend her. Yet, there was something in the way the man asked that made it feel like whatever reason he might have for not eating food he was served, it would be a good one. And she was half interested to find out what the man's reaction would be. "I'll have the grilled halibut." "Halibut?" he said. "Ah, halibut," said Maddie. She understood. Many people enjoyed the concept of grilled fish more than they liked it in practice. If this man knew himself well enough to be upfront and honest about that, she could respect that. "Can't promise that it's never been frozen. I hope that's not a problem," she said. "Sure, that it wouldn't be." "Sounds like my kind of fish," said the man. "The best halibut swim in cold water. Ain't a problem if the water happens to be in a solid form after the halibut passes." She nodded to Shay, who nodded back and headed back to the freezer. The man placed both of his hands on the counter and folded them. There was something serene in the way that the man sat there. With no inclination to glance around and inspect the cafe he was in. No nervous movement in his legs. No strained expression on his face to express he was waiting for something to happen. He looked so calm, and Maddie almost didn't want to disturb him. But she was chafed at the idea. Chafed? The idea that only the squeaky wheels were deserving of grease. Some wheels were just too polite to ask. Do you want a drink while you're waiting on that? I don't think I need a drink, the man. Alright, said Maddie, picking up a whiskey bottle and placing it in his field of view. A reminder of that he was free to ask for. The man squinted. Is that Jack Daniels? Indeed it is, said Maddie. The man's shoulders rose a bit in what looked like barely a chuckle. Got a fondness for that particular drink? It's just that we share the same name, said the man. I'm Jack Daniel. No relation to the distiller. I had several friends who took it upon themselves to check. As you might imagine, I've seen a lot of bottles over the years. It's the kind of gift that people enjoy giving you when you have a name like that. Yeah, of course, I'm pretty sure that would be the case. Tea. More water. Is it a gift that you enjoyed receiving? It's always a pleasure to receive a gift, said Jack. It's nice to know that you have friends who care about you and think about you. Is it a gift that you enjoyed consuming? I had a shelf in my flat where I collected them, waiting for other people to come so I'd have an excuse to open them. Ah, said Maddie, picking up the bottle and placing it below the counter. Sorry, if I brought up a bad memory. He laughed. Where's the bad memory? They're good to receive from friends and good to share with friends. If it's a reminder of people who I was close to and the things I did with them. No need to apologize for that. Maddie smiled. She was beginning to find that she liked Jack. It seemed like Jack was the kind of person who liked her. If for no reason, then that he liked people, and Maddie was people. She chuckled with him, and she enjoyed the chuckle so much that she almost missed Jack's momentary sideways glance. Bombastic side-eye. An unguarded moment when his mind seemed to be on something other than what he was talking about. Oh, hello, Brockruption. Welcome. I am playing the game a Necrobarista. The setting is in Melbourne, Australia. It's a cafe, and if you can tell from the name, Necrobarista, yeah, it's about necromancy and a barista. Come and chill. I'll be doing a lot of talking, and I just realized this thing is in the way. Chottomatte. Interact. Close it. Bye. It's gone. Hi. Suzuki wa koko. And I like this. Maybe I'll just keep doing this. It was only an instant, but it was a flicker of pain that she'd learned to recognize over years. There was something in him that was hurting, even as he remembered his friends. A sense of loss. A regret about something left unsaid. Maddie wasn't sure. Whatever it was none of her business. But she wanted it to be her business. Well, anything you want, just ask, said Maddie. Cup of water, warm glass of milk. Warm glass of milk? How old do you think I am? Maddie shrugged. 5 or 6? Just the right age to drink a tall glass of milk before being shooed off to bed at 8 o'clock in the evening. I'm just barely older, said Jack. If I do want a glass of milk, I guess I know who to ask. Is that it? それだけ? Nah. もっと知りたい. I guess that's it. The Fisherman 1. That was part 1? ないかな他には Hi, Maddie. Can I come? Oh, I came into the counter. I entered the counter. Thinking about alchemy the wrong way. A game based in Melbourne. Very interesting. Yeah, I know, right? I have had it sitting in my Steam library for about 2 years. So I've always wanted to... Here. This is it. I've always wanted to play this game. It's like having a game based on Perth in 2023 or today. Right? I only know about Melbourne and maybe Adelaide, but I don't go out very often, even in my own city, hometown city. So it's kind of nice to get some, you know, never perceived nostalgia. Lamington recipe. Ooh. Okay, let's go with this first. Oh. Hang on. I think I might move this down a little bit. Let's move this down a little bit. And out of the way. Highlighted passage from Thinking About Alchemy the Wrong Way by Sophie Cordova. Okay. Let's move this temporarily over here. And move me temporarily over there. Just so we can read it. Most study of alchemy throughout history can be categorized as either practical alchemy, that is alchemy which aims to understand the world only as well as is needed to fulfill certain utilitarian ends, and the philosophical alchemy, that is alchemy which aims to come to have I always been bad at reading aloud? That is alchemy which aims to come to a more complete understanding of the world as it is, without prejudice for which portions of alchemical understanding can be wielded to utilitarian ends. In the modern alchemy movement, there has been a tendency within literature to place a greater emphasis on philosophical alchemy, based on the premise that coming to a more complete and correct understanding of the universe is the best way for us to discover a new practical method for the physical use of alchemy. Much of this is based on the modern scientific movement in the post-Enlightenment era. Much like our understanding of theoretical physics gives us more accurate models of physical reality which have real applications in engineering. Having a better understanding of alchemy on a philosophical level informs our practice of alchemy. However, it may be that this focus on alchemy, which places an emphasis on being correct rather than useful, has thrown out the baby with bath water. What does that mean? Hang on. However, it may be that this focus on alchemy, which places an emphasis on being correct rather than useful, has thrown out the baby with the bath water. Admittedly, my position here is hardly biased. The fact that the practical studies of alchemy have largely been chased underground is the reason that the tome you're reading is self-published, rather than distributed through more official channels. For example, underappreciated in the development of modern alchemical practices is the use of the 5-element model. Early Aristotelian alchemical models were based on understanding the 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Later, Aristotelian alchemical models separated elements into 4 categories of earth, water, air, and fire. While this model may be more accurate and reflect an evolution of our understanding of alchemy, it seems to sacrifice the more practical separation of elements in a way that better allows us to understand less tangible things. While wood is not an element strictly speaking, it helps us to think that it is as such. After all, juxtaposing wood against elements such as metal and fire makes it apparent that wood possesses certain soul-like qualities that other elements lack, which might prompt us to question what it is about wood that seems to make it behave like a super element, with practical uses beyond the conventional. There is a great irony in the fact that while these kinds of questions eventually led us to discard the 5-elemental model, the new model no longer allows for the existence in this sort of question exist in academic literature. This book serves as my guide to asking the wrong questions, to arrive at the wrong answers that nonetheless seem to work. It is a book for troublemakers and rule breakers indeed. The fact that you hold this book in your hands right now is probably evidence that you have broken several rules to acquire it. That, or you are a rule enforcer tasked with destroying my work, who for some reason has decided to take the time to read it. Perhaps you are reading my work in search of identifying information which might lead you to my location, or you're reading to gain a better understanding of someone whom you consider to be an enemy. Perhaps after reading my work, you will realize that my ideas are not so dangerous as you've been to believe, or perhaps you will realize that they're exactly as dangerous as you've been told. You know what I realized? I forgot to do this. Apologies. Okay, well that's done. I'll have to move myself again later. Hi! Matte! Mada! Crucible product reviews. Boop 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 boop. Spirit-resistant quartz crucibles with self-sealing lids. Product description. Heat-resistant up to 1,650 degrees Celsius. Self-sealing lids form airtight seals around the crucible's ground rim. Highly resistant to corruption and spiritual interference. Clear inner and outer covering allow for easy spotting of cracks or imperfections. Quality suitable for mixing potions and filters. Rating 3.5 stars out of 5 project reviews. 5 out of 5. I love this. The covering, despite being quartz, has a textured appearance that gives it a silky smooth feel to it. Most crucibles. What's a crucible? Hang on. What is a crucible? Chottomatte. Crucible. A ceramic or metal container in which metals or other substances may be melted or subjected to very high temperatures. なるほど。そういうことか。I'm going to do a quick retweet. Okay, there we go. Most crucibles feel sterile and cold, but this one makes for a perfect beverage container when entertaining guests. 4 out of 5. The previous crucible set I used was inherited from my grandmother, who brought them over from New England. Unfortunately, 2 months at sea were not kind to her spirit, wherein her crucibles were filled with tiny cracks and microfractures that allowed unsightly looking soot to build up, leaving them stained with hard grey lines everywhere, looking like they were about to crack apart at any moment. Then she used them for several decades to come, but every time I worked with and watched them heat up, I was afraid they were constantly on the verge of shattering. Once she used to contain a lost wayward spirit for several days before finding it a home. for it, and I would get up at 9 would get up at night to check the embers under the crucible, and it always unsettled me, seeing how fragile the container was. Several times I found myself tempted to tip the crucible over just to see how easily it would shatter under my soft touch. Needless to say, this new set is much nicer. They are sterile, and I can keep several of them in my bedroom without feeling unsettled by their presence. 2 of the crucibles in my set arrived with small chips in them, but I contacted the manufacturer and they replaced them at no charge. The replacements were express shipped and the process was quick and painless. So great customer service, and they offer replacements up to 1 year. For the price, they can't be beat. 4.5. Owned mine for 2 weeks and it didn't crack. Decent for the price. 5.5. Received mine in the mail this morning and I can't wait to try it out. So glad to have finally found someone selling crucibles at a reasonable price. A brand name costs over $200, which is just outrageous. 1 out of 5. Brought this several weeks ago since it was the cheapest crucible on the site. Advertised as spirit resistant. I'm working on a filter. You know what? I'm going to search this up as well. Filter. Philtre. A drink supposed to arouse love and desire for a particular person in drinker. Basically, how do you...
Filter.
It is a filter. なるほど。そういうことか。なるほど、なるほど。はいはいはいはい。そういうことか。Like, so filter, with its interesting spelling, it is an interesting spelling. You don't see filter spelled like that. I don't think I've ever seen a word spelled like that. Fair enough. Bought this several weeks ago. I'm working on a filter for my graduate thesis and purchased 100 of these for lab use. 100 for lab use. Do you need 100 for lab use? My plan was to monitor 100 different animal spirits over with different types of plant matter and compare how different biomaterials affected the vigor over a 90-day period. The first day I set the first 5 with samples of mugroot, feverfew, ginger, ginseng, and golden seal. I placed them in crucibles over low heat to 80 degrees Celsius and left them overnight. And over the next 2 days, did the same with all of the remaining crucibles, finishing on a Friday and leaving the lab alone for a weekend. This person is writing their entire thesis in the review section. When I arrived back on Monday, I knew something was wrong when I noticed a rain cloud hovering over the door. It's not uncommon for rain clouds to appear at any time of the year, at any day in our part of the country. But it's quite another to find a rain cloud localized entirely within the hallway of your research lab. I braced for the worst, but I guess I could have braced harder. Nothing could have prepared me for the smell when I opened the door. I immediately felt my eyes watering and actually found myself choking. It smelled so bad. I slammed the door shut and went to the basement to grab one of the emergency respirators we keep down there. Unfortunately, the respirator did little to mask the terrible stench inside the lab. I opened the first crucible and saw that it was filled with a tar-like substance, and I studied its inky black writhing form. I felt the air sucked out of me and almost like it was trying to drag me into the abyss with it. I threw it on the floor and the container shattered, splattered, and the floor with container shattered, splattering the floor with little tar-like substances, which began slowly crawling across the room. I grabbed a fire extinguisher from the wall and sprayed the tar until it was completely covered, and heard what sounded like a sputtering noise, followed by a long gasp and a scream that faded into oblivion. It was living. After poking at the fire extinguisher spray, whatever was underneath was clearly quenched. I took the remaining crucibles and placed them in the oven and baked them at a temperature of 1,600 degrees for several hours as I sat alone in the lab, contemplating the cruelty of existence and wondering why my academic advisor would have to say about my thesis project. After several hours of waiting, I opened the oven and checked the contents of the crucibles, revealing nothing but ash. Whatever it was that had been drawn by the spiritual emissions of my lab work, it was gone from my world. But the memory of that day will haunt me for all the remaining days of my life. 1 out of 5. Do not buy this crucible for spirit-related applications. My wife is one of the product designers who worked on this item. And you are reviewing on it? The crucibles in this listing come from a manufacturer called Mars Security LLC. Back in 2013, they were some of the best hardware you could get for your money and earned a reputation among hobbyists as a great value for anyone working on a budget. In 2016, they did a survey and found that fewer than 3% of buyers were actually using the Crucible for spirit-related applications and decided they could cut costs by removing the spirit-resistant properties. However, they found that the product advertised with updated ad copy to... However, they found that products advertised with updated ad copy to reflect this didn't sell as well. So they continued using the old product description, which advertises it as spirit resistant, and with the new product line, which is not spirit resistant. I don't know how they're getting away with this. Apparently, the definitions of what is actually spirit resistant are legally murky, and the number of people affected is small enough that they continue to sell well. Stay far away from this one and warn anyone you know who might buy an item like this that it does not work as advertised. 5 out of 5, nice color. That's it. That's it. That it. Omoroi. Crucibles. Why do you need a crucible? Oh, judgment. So, Shay's collection. There's that. There's a Lamington recipe there, and then I can check out second. Cool. Drinking more water. My throat is parched from all this talking. All this reading out loud. I need to also change the location of this again. Give me a moment. I'm gonna relocate. Cool. Oh, there. Okay. And let's read. Shay sat in the corner of the cafe with a book in his lap. His eyes danced over the page for several moments, the words on the page illuminated by the candle that sat perched on the armrest of his chair. Then, after several moments passed, he turned the page. He hadn't actually internalized any of the text on the page, nor had he taken in any of the text on the 50 preceding pages. Relatable. He was vaguely aware of the fact that the book kept on referring to a man named Henry, who Shay presumed was the protagonist of the book he had held in his lap, but beyond that knew little to nothing. Shay didn't particularly mind this fact. In fact, he started actually following the story that was told in the pages of the book. He would consider it a great failure. Shay enjoyed sitting down with a book. He enjoyed the platonic ideal of reading, but when it came to telling stories, he found books to be a poor substitute for a person sitting next to him. He didn't pick up books when he wanted to be told a story. He picked up books when he wanted to be alone, to situate comfy chair and bask in candlelight, and sit silently in a meditative state. He turned another page. "Hey," said a familiar voice, interrupting him. "I'm in the middle of a book, Ned," said Shay. If you hadn't noticed. Ned Kelly? That was the book's secondary function. It deterred people who might see a man sitting alone and seize upon the opportunity to start a conversation when he was not in the mood for conversation. "Is it a good book?" said Ned. "I was enjoying being alone with it," said Shay. "Yeah, you looked really engrossed. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I've got a favor to ask." Why is it always to ask a favor?" said Shay, looking past Ned and speaking to no one in particular, even though there was no one but Ned near enough to hear him speak. "Why is it never, 'Hey Shay, I just wanted to stop by to offer you a favor'?" "I did that one time," said Ned. "You said you were busy, which I figured was your way of politely saying, 'Please don't bother me with this kind of visit,' so I stopped." "Did you?" "I don't remember it." "I'm sure you do remember it," said Ned. "It was from back before you started forgetting things. Sometime around... When did the war start?" "You're going... Oh. phone alert? I think it's okay. It's alerting of a high risk, whatchamacallit? High risk heat stroke alert. Be careful. Drink water. If you're in the summer districts, please drink water. If you're inside, drink water. You're going to have to be a lot more specific, said Shay. You know, the war with the soldiers and the guns? Ah, that war, said Shay. I did narrow it down a bit, didn't I? No, I'm not that old, said Shay. Wars were fought with guns even when I was a young man. Same for you. Did they? Well, it was a war with the, Ned trailed off. He raised a hand to his face and flicked his helmet. Ah, it is Ned Kelly. Mimicking the unmistakable ping of a M1 Garand. Whatever that is. World War II? Which one was that? The one with the Nazis? Said Shay. That sounds about right, said Ned. Anyway, I came to ask a favor. Hope that favor was spend a few minutes of your time having an inane conversation, but we already did that, said Shay. My, but you're snippy today, said Ned. What's gotten into you? Shay held up the book. A good book is what's gotten into me. Sorry, said Ned. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't urgent. I'm in need of an interpreter. Can you speak Cantonese? Woo! I can understand Cantor. I can't speak very well. Yes, said Shay. Great, said Ned. Can I steal you for a few hours? Not if it's to be an interpreter. A few hours, Bryce, said Shay. Why not? You speak Cantonese and you seem fluent enough in English, so why would you say no specifically to translating? Being an interpreter is not as simple as being bilingual, Ned. Isn't it? I figured you hear things in one language and say them in another. Seems simple to me. No, it's not. Are you literate? Said Shay. A bit. Can you write a work of great literature? Said Shay. Nope, said Ned. Well, there you go, said Shay. There's more to translating than being bilingual. Oh, come on, said Ned. I'm in a pinch. I'm not asking you to be a great interpreter, just an adequate one. There's lots of bilingual people around, said Shay. I'm sure you know I'm sure you know other places to ask. Yeah, but you know, I know you're not the kind of person to spill secrets, said Ned. And it's the kind of conversation that I just want to be between me and one other person, you know? Great, said Shay. Sounds like you need a professional interpreter. I hear they're great at facilitating those kinds of interactions. Come on, said Ned. What can a professional interpreter do that you can't? A lot of things, said Shay. But for one, a professional interpreter is someone you can count on to allow you to use their mouth to say incredibly stupid things without letting you or your counterparty know that just how stupid they find the interaction. Funny that, said Ned. I always figured that's the kind of thing you'd be good at. Because I'm so good at holding my tongue? Yes. I've tried before, said Shay, kicking up his feet. Being an interpreter pays well if you find yourself working for the right people, and it leaves your hands a lot less callous than some of the work I found myself doing. But you'll notice my hands have calluses. Turns out holding your tongue is oftentimes harder than digging holes. Come on, you know how to be a diplomat, said Ned. Fuck off, said Shay. There, that was me being undiplomatic. Now, would you kindly find another solution to your problem? One that doesn't involve me performing a task that I told you at least twice now that I'm not going to do. Ned started to say something, but was stopped just short of making an utterance and backed off. Hey, Maddie, Ned shouted. No, Annie replied. I haven't even asked you for anything, said Ned. I know, I thought I would save you the time, said Maddie. Ned sighed. What is it with you people? Maddie turned toward Ned and glowered at him. You people? Ned raised his hands defensively. I didn't mean... Look, I just mean that you two, you're, birds of a feather. In quite a few ways. Maddie stared at him, and Ned contemplated whether there was any way for him to make a statement grouping Maddie and Shay together without making himself look worse than he already did. Funny! He sighed in frustration. You know what your problem is? Yes, said Maddie. I know him quite well. And he's standing right in front of me. You know what your problem is? No! They ended it there? So Maddie and Shay can speak Cantonese. Well, if we consider it this way, so Shay said he himself was about 170 something years old, and around that time there was the gold rush, and a lot of immigrants, especially from China, came around to do some gold digging, and wouldn't be a surprise if a lot of Cantonese speakers came along as well. So yeah, that's pretty cool. A bit of Australian history for ya. I wish I could jump. It would be so much fun. I'm pressing the space bar to jump, but I can't. Okay, where's the Lamington recipe? I saw it. I saw the Lamington recipe. Where is it? Where is it? Oi, doko? Was it up there? ちょっと待って。見ちゃった。どこ? めっちゃ見ちゃった。I saw it. Where is it? Is it here? はあ、待って、待って、どういう意味だ? I saw a Lamington recipe. Ah, yeah. That is the tiniest thing ever. Alright, let's go. Authentic Australian Lamingtons. Let's go! Ingredients: 200 grams butter, 1 cup cast sugar, 5 milliliters vanilla extract, 3 Malafowl eggs, 500 grams self-raising flour sifted, half cup milk, 2 cups shredded coconut, icing. Oh, gomen. I burped. Sorry. Pardon me. 4 teaspoons sugar mixed and dissolved in water, 1/4 cup cocoa powder, 100 grams butter, half cup water. You will also need convection oven, Lamington pan, 3 centimeters deep, 20 by 30 centimeters base, baking paper, an electric mixer, a Lamington. Possible substitutions: chicken eggs can be used in place of Malafowl eggs. If electricity not available, whale oil mixes can be used instead. It is strongly hypothesized that a homunculus made with Lamington DNA could be used in lieu of an actual Lamington. But no confirmed tests have been confirmed due to the lack of success in producing actual homunculi, especially homunculi capable of baking. What kind of recipe is this? Grease Lamington pan. Lined with baking paper, use electric mixer, beat butter, vanilla, sugar, and sugar until airy. Hang on. Let me use a certain voice. Let me get into the add eggs to mixture. Have your Lamington stir flour into mixture and add This is catching me off guard more than usual. Hang on, I'm going to turn the music down a bit more. Okay. So, apparently you can use a Lamington to do the thing. Have your Lamington stir flour into mixture and add milk. Have Lamington pour into pan and smooth. At this point, you may dismiss your Lamington. They are no longer needed. Bake for 30 minutes. Make icing. Boil water and combine ingredients. Beat until smooth. Apply icing, coating 1 millimeter thick, and sprinkle coconut. Repeat until icing and coconut have been used. Note that it is not necessary to have a Lamington perform this step. Tips for procuring a Lamington. Any recently departed Lamington who comes into contact with a 40-60 mixture of vanilla and coconut will begin to glow red. Note that a 30-70 vanilla coconut mixture will cause them to glow green. The 30-70 mixture can be used in the case of potential lamingtons who have particularly flushed cheeks or are otherwise difficult to identify by a red glow. But this is generally discouraged as the effects can persist for several hours and can often be unsettling to guests. Only around 20% of people who claim to be lamingtons have actual lamington ancestry, hence the need to test potential candidates. What the hell is this about? Lamington ancestry? Be particularly skeptical of anyone who claims to be directly descended from either a Lord or Lady Lamington. Lamington pretenders uniformly claim to be descended from a former lord, leading to overwhelming of these claimants being false positives. Most Lamingtons were agricultural workers, so anyone claiming to be a descendant from a farmer of Lamington is more likely to be credible, but should be tested or verified. Should still be tested to verify authenticity. Do not bother testing anyone claiming to be descended from the 3rd Baron of Lamington or as Victor Alexander Brisbane William Crochane. Bale died childless. What the heck is this? What the heck is this? Having a Lamington stir self-raising flour into mixture is critical to the synthesis process and will not work with a non-gluten alternative. The face with no GF option. The face with no GF. God, that's a funny way to end it. It's what Lamington. Lamington. You can have a Lamington homunculi do all this for you? That's hilarious. What the hell is going on? Genuinely, like, what the heck? Okay, time to go upstairs. I want to go upstairs. It's closed. Okay, I'll go back downstairs. Ashley's journal. Row Battle Royale. Row Battle Royale. Robots Power Rankings. Windlass. When I first saw the name of this bot, I thought it was styled to be like a girl who could run control storms and run like a ninja. A real lass of the wind. Or maybe a girl of the elements. Someone with the ability to become the wind itself. If I were a windlass, I would vanish in an instant whenever Maddie appeared. She would look around and say, "Where's Ashley?" And I would be right there, but she wouldn't notice it because I would be one with the wind. Then, when she left, I would fade back into the room like a ninja. This would only work outside and in the rooms that are really breezy, so I would probably set up fans in the workshop to make it real drafty. When I looked it up online, I learned that windlass is actually a fancy name for a winch you use to pull anchors up, which at first made me think this bot was lame. It works by hooking its arm under enemy bots and pulling it up to flip them over. It never even tries to smash the other bots to bits or melt it with fire. But when I watched it in action and realized that flipping your enemies on their back to incapacitate them is the ultimate ninja move. Windlass moves like a master, spending the entire match trying to bait its opponent to exposing its weakness. And then, like a ninja master that knows how to jab at exactly the right pressure point on the back of the neck to make her enemy's head explode, Windlass grabs the enemy bot by the one part I am not having a fun time reading. Windlass grabs the enemy bot by one part of it that happens to be sticking out at the wrong time and flips it onto its back. Note, most bots only have wheels or legs on the bottom, not on the top, so when you flip them over, they are totally helpless, and the match is over. To avoid this happening, make sure to put wheels on top as well. When I make a bot like Windlass, I'm going to call it Badass, because that's what it is. Funny. Very funny, Ashley, very funny. I wonder if there's anything on the walls that, can trigger anything. That looks like Danny no. It's a door! Okay. Nothing is glowing, nothing is glowing. Nothing is glowing. I've looked at that. Nothing is glowing, nothing is glowing. Nothing is glowing, nothing is glowing. Okay, I think that's the rest. That's the rest. And I can't go. Oh, that looks really nice. Something outside. It's pretty ransacked. Do you cross over like that? Home. It's home. Oh! Oh no, I think that was just... No, that was just Shay's memories. Alright, where are we at? 1 hour and a half. I think before moving on to the next half of the story, I don't know how many parts there are. But I think I'll make a stop here. Might continue it tomorrow. But yeah, we've gone through one part of the story. We've gone and cleared all these memories. And then so tomorrow, I'll play the next part and continue the main story. That'll be interesting to find out what else there is. Oh, kind of crave a croissant. A croissant? A croissant? What does it actually say? Menu coffee. This is really nicely, why does it go blue here? In this corner specifically. Yeah, I'll continue it tomorrow. Alright, so, let's end it looking this way. Yeah. Okay. 最後まで見ていただいた方ありがとうございます。Thanks for watching till the end. まだお済みしない方は、Twitter と How do I usually say it? Hang on, give me a moment. まだお済みしない方は Twitch と Twitter のフォロー、YouTube の登録、高評価よろしくお願いします。まだお済みしない方は、Jesus Christ, I am like short-circuiting a lot today. まだお済みない方は Twitch と Twitter のフォロー、YouTube の登録、高評価よろしくお願いします。If you haven't already, please follow me on Twitch and Twitter, like and subscribe to me on YouTube. 最後まで見ていただいた方ありがとうございます。Thanks for watching till the end. And yep, we'll continue tomorrow. Alright. So, thanks for watching. If you all get a chance, I reckon you should play this game. Not that we've gotten quite into like the crux of things, but it is interesting. The music's nice, and it's really quite a slow-paced, exploratory game. I don't know how many hours it takes to complete this, but I think it's a nice, calming game just to spend time on. So, yeah, that's what I think. But yeah, send it. Thanks for coming again, and hope you have a nice rest of the day. And a lunch. I'm gonna go eat lunch. It's 1:18. It's 1:18 right now. はい、じゃあ、お疲れず、and I will... Hang on, what button is it? Yep, there we go. お疲れず and I'll see you tomorrow. はい、じゃあね、バイバイ。